aqui na primeira sala e reunir-nos um bocado, só para criar espaço aqui. Em primeiro lugar, já que nos apresentámos todos, eu queria saber quem é que já visitou a exposição daqui. Tu ainda não sabes, mas vamos falar em inglês, se for ok para ti, por causa da Doris. So I wanted to ask at the beginning if someone who from here has visited already the exhibition, or it's the first time, maybe for the three of you. First time? First time as well? Okay, we kind of already know it, yeah. And then I wanted to know if you knew any of the artists before? Or?
Personally, yes.
Yes? Okay. That's important because so we can give some context about the artists. And normally what I like to do is, since you haven't seen the show yet, I would maybe give you some time just to be in this space, each space. We wander around and then we meet and we talk a bit. So it's not like I overload you with information and you're already preconceived. So I would let you wander around a bit and then we talk, if that's okay. And while walking around, we can also have informal, like you can ask things that then can trigger moments of conversation. And yeah, I will again also watch as if it was the first time I'm here. Continuo a querer aquelas duas. Está grávida. Não, eu ia te perguntar umas coisas, mas para termos aqui apertado.
Leste o texto da Filipa na Arte Capital.
Eu não lhe consegui responder, ela pediu-me para eu mandar as legendas, mas acho que ela conseguiu ou não.
Acho que sim. Ficou muito fofo.
Tu já tinhas vindo de carro, então não?
Eu já, ou seja, vim
Porque tu vens cá, sim.
Mas não tinha visto ainda a exposição, portanto
Ok.
é a minha first também.
Ok. And maybe since we are circulating, I would maybe say that we can go and see the other corner as well, which is a more intimate space, and maybe we don't need to be so many in there. And then, yeah, also it's a space where we don't want to talk inside. So, yeah. O som da estrada me faz alguma confusão.
Está bem,
Não está? Yeah. Então, quando a Doris voltar, podemos começar a falar um bocadinho e se vocês tiverem alguma questão, algum comentário, alguma provocação que queiram lançar para iniciarmos a conversa, podemos iniciar assim, senão eu dou início, mas se houver já alguma coisa que vos intrigou ou que queiram depois colocar, acho que pode ser um bom ponto de partida. Se agora tivéssemos aqueles fones e eu falava e vocês ouviam os fones com o som lá de fora, era bastante bom. Então estávamos todos só com fones, não ouvíamos os carros nem as motas e ouvíamos só uns aos outros a falarem em microfone. Arrancamos? É como se fosse a pista para o exterior, não é? Para o ruído. É bonito isso. Não sei se vocês sabem, mas a Laura é uma das artistas da exposição. Percebi que não tinha apresentado como artista. Boa, muito melhor. Sim. Isso é ótimo. E assim as pessoas podem entrar pelo outro lado. Vou só avisar a Doris que vamos iniciar, depois temos tempo para voltar mais tarde. Yeah, Doris, we're gonna start. Perfect. Okay. So what I propose, Doris, is that we start with any comment or any observation that you gathered from your walk around. And then after, you can obviously stay in the space and look at the pieces with more time and go into the dark room as well again. So there was already a comment, because we were talking about the noise of the cars outside that Gemma now shut. But there was this comment that somehow this net kind of makes a connection with the outside of the space. And I think that was a very pertinent observation, because it comes from a construction space, a place. So it's also there's this association with the sound, with the loud somehow. Then maybe Laura, I don't know if I presented to you Laura as one of the artists. I think we presented her, but not as one of the artists. And also maybe saying that although the sound is not present in the exhibition in a more obvious way, there's always the presence of sound in several of the works. And actually, two of the artists are musicians, Norberto Lobo and Tembe. I think some of you know their works. And so the invitation from Zaratan to make this curating of this exhibition, for me came. The first things that came to my mind was that I wanted to show work of artists that I admire a lot and that normally don't show their work to the public so much. And first person I thought of was Laura, because I really admire her work, and then we can go a bit deeper into it. And then also Norberto Lobo, because we are friends for some years, and he has a very obsessive practice of drawing and also of comic drawing. And he had told me several times that he kind of liked this idea of having a space to show his work, and also that this could open up other dimensions of his work, because who draws and who works as an artist knows that it's different when we work in our studio on a table or draw on papers, and then all of a sudden we have a space to show our work that changes our own perception of the work, and that kind of amplifies and can desdobrar, unfold new possibilities of the work then. And so Norberto Lobo was also, he had never shown his visual work before. And then Tembe, he's also a musician, but he studied fine arts. And he, for a lot of concerts, he used to make objects and masks. And some of the masks that you see around come from this practice that he kind of embeds his visual practice he weaves it in with the sound practice in a way. And so there's the presence of the sound is for me kind of strong, although there's no sound installation per se. So now when you said that there's this bridge to the sound of the street, that was kind of resonated a lot also with the origin of the exhibition. Yeah, does someone want to throw in another comment or another observation so we can continue from there? You're shy, but you can also say it in Portuguese.
You were talking about sound, and I was thinking about traveling before. You said sound, and I was thinking about the resonance of things. And I felt like I was pulled in a lot of directions Africa because of this
masks
that had to do with some old ancient things that had some names on it. And like the origins and childhood and all this
jumps somehow.
On curating, and how did this come to be?
I will answer you. We'll see if there's another comment that we can weave in the conversation. Just from seeing the space. It doesn't need to. Just
Dreamy landscape.
Dreamy landscape.
Strong colors and like traveling, I don't know.
Dream travel is also beautiful. Things coming out.
I can pass one comment, which is I also agree with, but after a few weeks of the exhibition time we passed, I also heard about the visitor. They said to me like, this is three artists, right? And now you understand that they also think that it's a very good combination, that they even think that all the works could belong to one artist.
Yeah. That's where actually that was going to be my next question. If kind of as going around this room, if you identified three different artists, or if you kind of thought this could be one, or if we want to make this game now of trying to see who is who. You want to play that game? What do you think?
It's a risky game.
Yeah, let's risk some try and error. So here, would this be all from the same person?
I think the masks, all the objects, the 3D objects are from
Yao.
Wait, you mean like the three?
Which ones? You mean the ones that are hanging, for example, there?
The masks, the objects.
And some more hints, or? Okay, I will make a spoiler. So this series of drawings here is from Laura. So you can already now you have a clue.
Yeah.
This is a clue. So you can see that this is a series. And maybe since we're here, maybe you can talk a bit how this series emerged, how it came to being.
This one, the text is not from me, it's from my friend Elena who wrote this. And we already had made one book before, and she sent me this text by text message. And yes, I draw it very fast. The rule was just wax, crayons. I think. I don't use a lot, and this was kind of my rule to draw it, and it all came very fast, except one or two that then past 1 week, and when I tried, they were a bit different. Like this one, I feel it's a different. Yes.
So it's kind of as if they all come from one gesture of impulsiveness.
Yes, and then I made a pause and the gesture changed a bit.
It's funny that you say that now, because when we were putting up the drawings, there were some that Laura was leaving out. I was like, why are you leaving out? They're all from the series. And she was like, no, these ones are different. So it's kind of
But then I accepted.
but it's kind of like this subtle gesture, subtle difference, but that for you makes a big difference. And maybe also saying that Laura, her work comes a lot from provoked by relation, provoked by signs of friendship, like a letter, like a dream, like we're talking about the dreaming. So there's a lot this relationality with what happens in the world around you, and a lot through friendship, I would say.
Yes.
So when she said that there's this, someone wrote her text, it sounds a bit mundane when the artist itself is talking about it, but it's really this correspondence that starts, and this provocation that you are provoked by something, and then you react to that drawing. And that's, for me, really characteristic of your work. I don't know if that resonates with you, but for me that's also really, there's a really strong being in the world, but also being really connected to certain aspects of the world, like friendship for you, I feel, has a really high value and is a high motor of creation. And so so this drawings came, and also I feel a lot of projects from Laura, they come from a common idea of let's do something together. And that's kind of also a trigger for you. It's like, do something together, and that's kind of what makes the art process fun for you, in a way, and worth even. Otherwise, it's not worth it for you. I feel like it's only worth it.
I'm trying to make the exercise to make it worth for doing it just for myself. But I think that's really strong, and it's really beautiful for me. It holds so much honesty in it, and I think the works really transport that. And maybe, since we're talking about this series, maybe we can talk a bit about what happened then with them, because they were thought to be a book, right? Yes, they were a book, but yes, I'm trying to do another edition
of the book. Yeah, maybe on the 11th we will have some of the finissage. There's going to be a concert, and we're going to maybe have some of the editions of this artist books from Laura.
Because I just printed like...
It was a really small edition.
10 or something.
Yeah. Jose definitely wants to add on to this friendship conversation. It resonates with him, this idea of the friendship and of creating art. But so maybe unfolding this idea of this series of drawings, also saying that, just say a little bit with you, but saying that in Laura's work, the idea of the book is very important as well, and the idea of the sketchbook that is part of the work itself, sometimes is the work itself, and sometimes is from there that then it unfolds into paintings or other drawings that are, have a stronger purpose of being an isolated drawing, but always come from this kind of obsessive sketching that you have. I feel that's very strong in your practice as well. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, and then we have two other artists here. So we already had this hint from Rita that the masks are from Tembe. Okay, I confirm that this mask here is a work from Tembe. Also the mask that Maria Beatriz was referring to, which is here. So this, maybe talking about the curating options, it was a really communal process, I would say. For me, there were some works, especially of Laura, that I really wanted that are in the show, because for me they were really strong. And like this series here. Yeah. And so I think, then you can interrupt me every time, but I think what happened for me as a curator, which actually I'm an artist, so I don't think I think like a curator in that more classical sense, but for me it was more like seeing together with the artists what made sense to come in. So actually we made this process of bringing much more work to the space, and then really using the space as a kind of residency where together we decided what will stay and what will go. And especially with Norberto's work, which this here is a series from Norberto, and he has such a compulsive practice that he has over thousands of drawings that were here in the space.
Completely different styles.
Yeah, maybe you want to add on a bit how you perceived his work when, like, we had all these things here.
It's amazing. He had just like mountains of drawings already chosen by Maja, so I imagine his house is just mountains of drawings, like completely different.
Yeah. So what happened that we made a pre-selection. So what came here was already a pre-selection, but still it was so much, and as Laura said, all these different styles of really specific series, because then he works kind of in series.
Yes, and he also has a lot of books.
Yeah, exactly.
This one we cut it from
Yeah.
this book.
So this was a book only, even with more than this, that have this series here. And then also behind Maria Beatriz, which there I think you can see the plurality of his practice. Those two are also from Norberto. So they're from this series, which I think someone used the word dreamy, but that they emerge really more in this quality of the color itself and the quality of the ink itself and how it spreads onto the paper. And so they have already this materiality and the more, even one could say almost already sculptural kind of longing in a way that they go inside the texture of the paper. And then complementing with two drawings from Laura. Would you call them drawings or paintings in this way? I'm curious.
I call them drawings.
Drawings, right? Yeah. Yeah. Do you call any of the works that you have inside this exhibition painting?
These flowers.
This too.
This is something that I thought I never know how to
Categorize them.
Yes.
Yeah, also it's not so important, I think, to categorize them. It's just I'm always curious because sometimes we have unconscious names for the things that don't really correspond to an outside category that someone would give. Someone would look and say like, oh, but this is, but we name it differently, and I think that holds also some truth about the process. A lot of times when we do this, yeah. And so maybe also referring that then we have also two more sculptural elements that are from Laura, which is this work here and this one. And those are from your more recent works, right? Where you also work a lot with textile. Yeah. Is there any questions for now? I feel like I've talked quite a lot, and I wanted to give some space to interjections.
Always the common elements like the moon or the scenario, the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
But then me and Norbert, we were looking at our stuff, and we discovered that I draw the same mountains as he was drawing. That one with the red sun and the three mountains, it's mine.
Yeah, maybe you want to go there and show what is, because it's really funny because
we discovered a lot of similarities. Yes.
Yeah, especially Norberto and Laura, they didn't know each other before, and I really thought that they practice would link so much. And then actually in this series, it's really...
Yeah, now I was looking at this wall, and I was seeing that he has the red circle, and I have the yellow circle.
Yeah. Exactly. So in all of this here also, but you also have a red one, no? So I will just point so it's clear. This, and this are from Laura. And these ones here are from the series of Norberto. But there's really a strong connection of elements, of, one could say symbols. I don't want to overvalue this word too much, but that kind of appear and that make us also go into this journey. No, because it's so interesting that Laura and Norberto had never talked before, and they visited the same mountains in some dream. They visited the same landscape in some dream that they were drawing. Yes, and so coming back to the installing process, it was quite organic, I would say, and it was really a communal process, where also for me. As an artist that then had to take the role of the curator, it was important for me to step out at a certain point, because when we artists, we want to be involved in the creative process, but then it's important to not not over dictate your ideas to the energy that can arise when the curator is not present. So for me it was important then. I was here I think the first 2 days with you, also kind of we would decide what would come in and what not, and kind of the skeleton of the thing. And then I said Sena, I got out of the stage and left. Yeah, and I think that process was also where you created bounds stronger together. I don't know if you want to then, because I think Yao, he has this room inside of the installation. He really wanted to show this aspect of his work that he investigates already for some time now with light and with smoke. And but still then he was always present to take decisions also together with Norberto and Laura.
He was more practical, also.
You
Me and Norberto, this or this. And then Yao would come and he would be, no.
So it's funny that like the creator stepped out and then one of the artists took the role of
But
the...
also he gave space, but he was
Exactly.
more like...
Yeah. No, and actually then it's really interesting because Yao really wanted this mask to be in this position because for him it made much more sense that kind of it creates a inner communication with the works on the wall, and also this idea of that the backside is sometimes holds also some some strength. And the backside of something, the backside of the drawing, the backside of a mask, the backside, what is in the backside, or that we consider the backside. So I think that's also a thought that Yao brings into this constellation of works that are here. The sculptures are from Laura as well, yeah. And somehow I feel like that these sculptural elements, they communicate with what is around in a very strong way as well. Laura, you want to talk a bit? Also, something interesting is that, for example, sorry, Laura. Something interesting is that Laura, I think she has works here from 2015 until now. So there are works that were done really like in the exhibition place itself, and works that come from 2015. And I think that's always a challenge because, at least for me, the bases are from 2015, and it's this possibility of bringing things into a place and then seeing what you create with elements that you brought. And I think that's very, I don't know if I would have been able to do that as well as you, because I think it's challenging if you ask an artist to bring all the works. Sometimes it can be challenging. I don't know if you felt like you wanted just to show new things at the beginning. I don't know how it was for you.
But because I give a lot of things away, and I have a lot of books and stuff, but I didn't have a lot of work done ready to show, and this was with a little bit of time. You told me about this exhibition, and I started to look of what did I had, and I discovered these pieces of ceramics that I never exposed before, and I enjoyed. I liked them, and it's like it was creating a story between times.
Also, and it's also, for me, in terms of process, interesting that sometimes we have pieces in our studio for years and years, and then someday there will come the time where they will be presented and where there will be a layer added onto them and they become something else. And I feel that that's an aliveness that sometimes the art world can tend to sterilize, because it's like things become something else, and then but we have this, the market has this incentive to fixate things in form, and then they're this work, and it's not touchable. But this idea that things can turn into something else, and then there's a layer added, and maybe after the year they will become into something else. And I think there's also this aliveness and this beauty of
that
it.
is power of transformation.
Yeah. Yeah. Do any of you want to comment on what we saw in the dark room? You want to go? I don't know if we all fit in there, or we can try to squeeze in, just in the corridor, maybe. And also, have you noticed the masks, Rita? What do you have to say about these masks that are here? Are they from Yao?
I have a very strong relationships with masks, Portuguese and Spanish masks, and when I saw it, I don't know, it reminded me a little bit of, I don't know, Africa, maybe, I don't know. But,
So these masks, more than describing them, I would just say that they were made by Norberto after, kind of in the middle of the putting up of the show, in the last days of putting up the show, and it was provoked by Yao's masks.
Yes.
So it was.
Because we were having this game of who's who is
Whose work is which?
Yes, and then one day I arrived here, and then Albert said, "Ah, come take a look." Yes, he made this.
So that's something
Just
to confuse even more. So it was kind of part of this game of putting up the show, and that happened really natural. So it was not like a mental game, but it was something that happened really naturally. And I thought it was a really beautiful contamination. For me, this word contamination is very positive in general, when things kind of drip onto each other and contaminate each other. And I felt that happened with all of you a bit, but this is really the really strong and clear example of how something resonates with you, and you go home and you want to make something. And there's a lot of people who gave that feedback and said, "Oh, I saw this exhibition, I really wanted to go home and do something as well." So it's beautiful when that somehow happens. Do you think we can try to squeeze in here? What do you think? Okay, you can close. Yeah. Sabes mexer na... Yeah, Laura was just saying that normally Yao was regulating the quantity of smoke, and now actually for the effect to be complete, it could have a bit more of smoke.
Do you know how to put that?
Felix. Can we put more? You want more? Mais ainda não precisamos, claro.
Yeah.
We need more, Felix.
I think it took more
Time?
yeah.
Ah,
just-
okay. It was like, more, Felix, more. Felix like, sorry, girls, it's not that fast. It will take time. Se calhar vou-vos deixar estar deste lado para ter esta.
Mas tem... é sempre diferente.
Yeah, I think it needs a lot more of smoke. Actually, no, Laura?
Yeah.
It had?
It had.
Ah, okay. Yeah, opening the curtains. Yeah. So actually, being inside here, I hadn't been inside here with so many people, and for me this was really a space of quietness. That's why also I wasn't sure if we should come in here with the group. But at the same time, I feel it is an installation that creates a space, no? And it creates this now Laura is doing this, playing here with the como é que se diz planos em inglês? With the esta ideia de criar os planos, não é?
When in geometry
criar
you
os
have 3 points and then it becomes a...
Yeah, and the title of this work is Marcha para Surdina, and so there's this relation. Yao was a trumpetist, and I don't know if you know what a surdina is. It's what you put on the trumpet to mute, to buffer the sound, and it's this idea of the march, no? And here again, all the things that you were saying of the journey or of walking, of this idea of march, and also this idea of the movement, and of this march that kind of trespassed the space, together with this mute element, no? That it's as if we have the sound evoked here, but it was muted, no? Laura, do you want to add on something?
For me, this room is, it means like the silence. And, I don't know, this part of the dream, I don't know how to explain it. It's like the importance of silence and reflection and interior, I don't know.
And somehow also as if from out here the other works kind of emerge in a way. No, it's as if this was somehow also the birthplace of the exhibition. It's kind of the womb
It
in
has
a
all
way.
these meanings, yes.
Yeah, and I think for Yao, it would be nice to have him here to talk about it, because he would talk about the piece much better than any of us. But there's this relation with also with this simplicity of elements that with the mirror, light and smoke, that you create a certain architecture of the space, now that we can create this planus, I'll say walls now for a better word, that we can trespass. And then when someone trespasses this, I feel that,
Yeah, from here I don't see the wall that you are touching. I just see
yeah, but
like
here we
near
see now
end,
it's
but I
like,
don't see the wall.
and I would invite you to kind of to play a bit with this, because it's very sculptural, at the same time it's somehow invisible, untouchable. It is touchable and it's tangible, and it has this constructive aspect that we can kind of modulate with. Yeah. Do you want to go to that side to oh, you can see from here, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Felix, for adding the smoke. It really makes a difference, no? Yeah, it really makes a difference. Maria Beatriz, do you want to add some thoughts?
I can.
Yeah.
You were talking about more of the artistic side of it, or the artistic conceptualization of the piece. And when I first got in, I felt like I was in some types of dreams that I have, which have a lot to do with like space and how creepy it is that we are floating on nothingness. And I really, like, I was playing in the middle, and I always have this feeling about being alive, which is like just being in a constant limbo of feeling things and not being totally able to feel them. And I just feel like this simulates it very well when you are at the point in which you don't see the light, but you're almost touching it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would add. Yeah.
And maybe you notice that there's the light is hitting a sculpture of Laura. Exactly at that point that you were referring. So Laura is positioned at that edge. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone wants to add just some thoughts? Just some comment? If not, I would say we will continue, and then we can come back here individually. Queres tirá-la? Podes tirá-la. Está ali com o teu
Claro.
Não sei porquê. Essa já estava.
Não, estava pendurada.
Não é? Deve ser por causa do
vento.
Do vento. Yeah. O quê?
Plain?
Plain. Parece tão.
Yeah, básico. Yeah, é básico.
Não, e porque tem demasiados outros significados que não nos lembraríamos de airplane. Yeah. Yeah, so me and Laura were just commenting on this mask, actually, that it was hanging here and that was floating in the wind in a way. And I think because of the quantity of wind, it was decided to install it back there. Was it that, Felix? Yeah.
Yeah, really sorry.
Yeah. So we don't put it in risk. So there's this decision that obviously the space itself sometimes dictates the conditions or the way the works have to be installed, and yeah, this is one of the cases. And then we have here this work of Laura, and maybe Laura, you can just talk a bit about how it came to be.
This was also another message from another friend about a dream that she had with the two of us, and we were running away from a tsunami, and we entered the car, and we were dressed in some specific way that I don't remember, and then we transformed ourselves into mugs, and it was us but older with very long silver hair, and we costed a price that I don't remember, a very specific number. And so this is me and this is she.
And this is before the transformation?
Yes.
And there's another two cards that show the transformation into mugs, into tea mugs. But they
it
are
was
not...
a very funny dream.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, what I would say here, I would also, I'll just say some words and then I will let you absorb. Here we kind of followed the same logic of installing as in the main room, that there's this relation and this conversation between the artists. And here I feel we explored a lot. So there were a lot of things that we hung, that we took out, and there was a lot of this conversation between the artists happening until they reached the point of, okay,
yeah,
here we talking.
This part was difficult.
Yeah, and so maybe just to say, this is a work from Laura and two drawings of Norberto. So you can see that as another series that there are a lot of drawings of this series from Norberto. Behind you, there's a series of Norberto as well, of the circles. And here there's a relation of Yao's mask and Norberto's work. And here is Laura with these two pieces in communication with Yao as well. So I'll let you absorb a bit and then we can talk a bit and kind of maybe wrap up the conversation in a more informal way, that we can talk a bit, we can ask Laura some questions, we can continue on.
aqui dá mesmo para ver o projeto.
But also you, Laura.
Sim.
We're talking about Norberto's versatility, but also Laura, her work also kind of this work and even this one is already very,
But also not versatility, just the openness to try.
yeah,
things
and to
very
not
difficult.
fixate yourself within a certain style. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, thank you. Versatility is not the
Sorry,
right.
no,
it's
it was
the
not
right
to.
word. Yeah, but it's true. Yeah, yeah. And also these sculptures, they also you had never shown them.
No,
Yeah,
and I really like them.
yeah. Maybe to say that they are fired in a specific way, which is called Gerichtszahl. It's a salt firing, which undergoes really high temperature, and it's.
I think maybe when I did this is when I met you
Yeah,
for
we
the
met.
first time.
Yeah, me and Laura, we met when Laura was doing these pieces in Montemoro Novi, in a ceramic workshop that's there. And so it's the salt that kind of makes the glaze be so specific.
The piece underneath is like pink.
The clay.
The clay.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it were to break, the insides would be pink.
Yes.
Yes, it's broken. Maybe I can show.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. And here also, this is a series from Norberto as well. These two. And again, these ones come from the first drawings in the front that I said that are more exploring the color and the texture of the paper itself. And then here, there's this layer added onto it already of a more marker drawing more with lines. And so I think Norberto also works also in this exploring, and these are more recent works, and bringing together his more illustration and comic language with this this painting and this fluidity of letting the ink flow in a way. So I think in these works he brings this together. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think from my side, I would say I would.
I have a question.
Yeah, perfect.
Because it's very rare to have an exhibition where things are marked up individually, identifying the artist and the name and all that jazz. How come?
Laura, you want? I can talk a bit, and then I pass to you. I think it was kind of obvious for all of us from the beginning that we really wanted, at least for me, as a curatorial thinking, I really wanted to join the works, and that's also why I proposed a space of putting up, and a time of putting up the show together. So there was this kind of mingling of the processes and create this confusion of this positive contamination that I was talking. And so I think it was not even an option at any point to identify the works individually. We have then the Folhetzal, where the exhibition sheet, where it actually has a map, and where you can check from whom is what. And funnily enough, in the opening, that kind of turned into a game. And for me, it was one of the openings where I felt that people arrived at 4, and normally then, some people go away. And here, everyone stayed until really late, because there was this game, and there was this wanting to see from who is what. And so I felt that it kind of turned into a strong relation as well with the works, and with wanting to go into depth with the works. I don't know if you want to add on. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the game of not understanding who is what is what. I think the 3 of us enjoyed this game.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
4, yes.
Exactly. No, but also between you, the artists. Yeah. Yes. Any more questions or comments or things?
How long have you been in the creative process? The 3 of you together?
It was like a week.
Yeah, I think a week and a bit. Yeah. And before they didn't know each other. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
exactly. We will finish it officially. I will get rid of this, and then we can continue talking. Yeah? Woohoo!